This episode of the Off-Road Podcast is sponsored by Colby Valve.
Off-Road Podcast, episode 457, 6th Gen 4Runner.
Tonight, Aaron huffs some paint, Coy drives around cones, and Ben goes shopping.
Welcome to the Off-Road Podcast, the podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and interview people in the off-road industry. Your hosts tonight are Aaron, Coy, and my name is Ben, and welcome to the show. I forgot it's mirrored.
Ben, what did you go shopping for?
I actually went.
You're always shopping.
I am always shopping, but I actually purchased. I ordered a fridge freezer.
Very nice.
Yeah,
a dual zone or what?
It's got a wall that you can put in for dual zone capability. It's some Chinese brand one. It was a decent price. I figured I'd give it a shot, see how it goes, and worst case scenario.
And did you buy this off of Wish?
No, Amazon. I've learned. No Wish.
Okay,
no Wish.com purchases for me.
I'm just checking.
It's gonna show up and it's just a bag of ice cubes.
That's
from
Wish. It's an ice tray.
An ice cube tray, yeah.
Don't both of your trailers have fridges in them?
Just my Rockwood, but I've got the trip to my long way home trip that I've got going on this summer. I'm not taking a trailer or anything. It's just going to be the 4Runner. So we're camping out of that, and then we're going to Yellowstone.
It's a good call. It's way cheaper tow truck bill without the trailer.
Oh yeah, way cheaper. And then we're going to Yellowstone this summer, and I figured it would be nice to have that along the day, just to keep in the back of the minivan. And I've wanted one for a while. It's that.
I thought you'd already bought one. I thought you bought one.
I've been looking for one and trying to convince the wife, and I finally sold her on the idea. And as soon as she said, she broke down and was like, "Yeah, go ahead and order one." I was like, "Okay, this is one I've currently got that I've been looking at and I like, and it's on a deal right now."
Right on.
And it still took me.
Felt her out a little bit more in case she was thinking it was going to be like $700, and you could have been like, "Oh, I mean, yeah, this was the one that I was thinking about getting."
Unfortunately, when I've got an idea that costs more than a couple $100, she's looking into it more. So she likes to research it just as much as I do. So, and I'd missed out on the local deal for a fridge freezer, but this one's actually bigger. It's a 48 quart. So
that's a decent size. That's not too big and not too small.
Yeah, I wanted something kind of in the middle. So
some people buy those giant ones and they're silly.
Like you?
No, mine's not a giant one. I think mine's a 50 or 63. But I think there's like an 84 out there that you can get, which is just massive.
Some people like to bring their ice cream instead of make it when they get there, like.
I mean, if I had a dual zone, I might go for that, because then I would bring half ice cream and then the rest would be food, maybe even more than half ice cream.
I figured going with a cheaper one would be an investment in if I wanted to go bigger or better brand. I mean, there's so many different fridges.
That would be a fun if we did like a 4-day off-road trip and brought like a massive freezer and only ate ice cream, ice cream sandwiches, ice cream cookies, choco tacos.
Problem with that, I mean, I love the idea, but the problem with that is you can eat 12 of those in one sitting, and it's going to have to just be a 1-day trip because we're going to run out of ice cream really fast.
Yeah.
If everybody brings their own freezer and brings a load of ice cream.
Okay, so it's a 2-day. It's a 2-day trip now.
It's a 2-day trip, and we can restock maybe. But my only problem would be I don't know what my limit of ice cream I can eat before I poop my pants. I'm not sure. I know that line is in the sand somewhere, but I haven't really got there yet. But it would happen to at least one of us for sure.
Oh yeah.
As long as we're not getting the ice cream from Dairy Queen, I'll be fine. I've got some sort of intolerance.
Clearly, I would have to slip in some
slip a dilly bar.
Like, oh no, this one's from it fell in the blank, and then watch you start a bead of sweat come down over your eyebrow. Hey, what's wrong, Aaron? You feeling okay, buddy?
We got to dig a cat hole now.
What about you, Coy? You did some cones?
I went racing for the first time in at least 10 years. So I've had a car I've been playing with for a while, and I went out to Oregon Raceway Park. It's in Grass Valley, kind of outside of Dalles, Oregon, and did a track cross. Like you run the racetrack, but they put a bunch of autocross cone elements, psalms, and gates and stuff out there, and it's one car at a time, timed, and did 7 runs on the track, and I stayed the night, camped out.
So was this the one that you signed up for that you were concerned about?
Yes.
How you were going to?
Yeah.
Nice. So the car ran well then?
Since car ran fine. I have gotten very rusty, but there's a cool picture. Got the fire pit going.
So you say you did 7 laps and then you camped. Did you race the next day too?
No, I camped. I showed up the night before, camped, and then raced, and then went home. They had a race the day I showed up, so I could have raced that day, and then they had a track day the next day. But I wasn't ready to commit to that much. I know my skills depreciated massively, and car was completely untested. I'm a big suspension. I like to play with things, and I can't just drive things as they are. I have to tune them to all my weaknesses. So I knew it wasn't going to be at its best, and I would have to make some adjustments. So, and I got a little video here. We'll see how loud it is, but it's
got a little squirrely there, huh?
You really fill out that seat.
What's that?
I said you really fill out that seat in that car.
I wear that car. That car. I'm a spider with a push 300-pound man. It's an Iron Man suit. Like it's not.
Yeah,
you're not driving it. Yeah.
No. Josh says your beard must have rusted off too. Josh, it's weight reduction. He's going for best lap times. He wasn't even wearing any pants in that video. You couldn't tell, but weight reduction.
No. Yeah, weight reduction. No, it's starting to warm up here. I can't get my beard as long as some other guys. I mean, I physically could, I suppose, but it starts to bother me, especially the mustache gets on my lip, just drives me nuts. And I got to trim her down every so often.
Constantly trimming my mustache because it annoys the heck out of me.
I got to rotate the crops, as I always say. About every 5 years, I take her down to a clean shaven situation, scare family and friends. People at work don't recognize me, and they mock me because it's no good.
I've done that before, and it was an accident. And if I remember correctly, Aaron said I look like a turtle. So
Wow Guy says I miss Stig. Speaking of that, my helmet is a flat black version of the Stig helmet. So that's Simpson Bandit, cool looking Darth Vader helmet. I haven't used it in a bazillion years. You know, it had all these stickers from other tracks and stuff that I used to run that would have to like tech your helmet, make sure it was okay, and then they'd put a sticker that was good for like 2 years on there. And I ripped all those stickers off in the process of doing that. I didn't realize I ripped off my Snell. It's not a Snell rating.
Oh no!
I took my SA rating sticker off.
Yeah,
and didn't realize it till I got to the track, and the dude's like, "Where's your SA rating?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know, just somewhere on there, dude. It's just a Simpson. Like this is name brand helmet. I'm good." He's like, "Yeah, it's not on here. Is it inside?" I'm like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Where are they usually?" He's like, "Right here on the back. You could clearly see where the sticker used to be." I was like, "Oh, dude, I just took that off." I was like, "But it's not. They didn't even make that helmet that long ago, so it's a 2010." But Yeah, so I wrote Simpson like, hey, can I like get another sticker or like what's up with that? Because that's gonna be a costly mistake on my end if I can't.
Did they respond?
They have. I just wrote them today. So, but I would think like dudes paint their helmets and stuff, and the sticker has to come off. So like, I don't know. But then I also wouldn't want to just be giving those rating stickers away either, because no one
just
would buy
passing them out. Exactly.
Like, hey,
Did you order it through them when you ordered it?
I have no idea who I ordered it from. I'd have to go back in my emails. I probably did, but I don't remember.
I'm just thinking if they had that information somewhere, it would be able to help locate it.
Leroy, yeah, it's they just came out with the 2020 essay rating, but for autocross type stuff, they still accept the 2010 essays. So it's kind of, for some sanctioning bodies, it is past its rating, and others it's not.
Yeah.
And apparently the sanctioning bodies I race with don't care if you die. So anyways, Aaron, I'm curious about the Frontier Saga. Enough about not off-road stuff that I'm doing. I feel guilty talking about
refrigerators and race cars. Yeah. You want to talk about something off-road? Oh, that was nice. Leroy says he cares about you, Coy.
I appreciate that. It's nice.
Let's see. I cleaned out the old shop in preparation to move my stuff out of it into my new shop. So that's kind of off-road related, right? I didn't do anything off-road related other than I got the parts in for the Frontier, and I was just getting ready to just slap them on. I bought them from Rock Auto, and 2 different color brake calipers showed up. Look at these colors. One's like split pea gray and one's gunmetal gray. And then the hardware on one is gold and chrome, and the other hardware is painted the same color as the caliper. I don't know what's up with that.
That's like some rebuild action.
Well, they are rebuilds. They're not brand new. They're remanufactured or whatever they call that. One of them showed up in a box that said Pro on it, and I don't know. They look identical except for being left and right. All the casting and everything looks the same. So I don't know what makes one Pro. So of course I can't put them on my truck looking goofy. So I cleaned them up, and I've got several coats of primer and paint on them. So they dried over the weekend. They are ready to be installed, but that next step's going to take some leg day pressing to pump all the fluid out the back. So I con somebody into coming over. Coy, what are you doing this week?
I freaking knew you were good. I was already, you're like, I got to get a leg day. And I was like, no. I'm probably available.
What day were you doing it? Yeah, I'm busy that day.
So I have a trip.
To not your
house.
Couldn't you gravity bleed most of it?
And then I'll just have my wife come out and pump the brakes. It's fine. She's as strong as Coy, so it's all right.
I've had wives pump brakes before, and they do not like that.
No, they don't.
I had my son help me once, and it was like, he's like, this is a stupid thing to have me help, Dad. You need to find better things for me to do.
I actually might be around Sunday. I think so.
I don't know if I will be or not. I got a very busy weekend, so. Lifted Xterra says you haven't seen the video of a guy using a spray bottle nozzle to bleed brakes. I haven't seen that. I actually have a power bleeder, and I should just check to see if it works with my Nissan Reservoir, if the cap will go on it. So I got a couple different caps. Eric says, what's Thomas doing? Thomas could probably pump the brakes 12 times, and then he'd be done. So yeah. Other than that, yeah, nothing else. I did mention last week that I just bought one rear rotor. When it showed up, I actually had 2 rear rotors. I think I made the decision just to replace them both because it was just, I don't want them to be uneven. So got 2 fresh rotors for anybody who's thinking I cheaped out.
You thought that he cheaped out?
Yeah.
I actually forgot to mention this. I may be getting. I feel like I have an echo going on here. That's weird. I feel like it's just my end. My trailer, my Rockwood trailer, that's real similar to Ben's. My wife's, she's done with it. She doesn't want it anymore. She doesn't like having to pop it up, get in. She's like, I just don't want it anymore. She wants a Intech Flyer Explore. It's like a small cargo trailer, has a kitchen in the front. Heated, has the sides have 2 beds that fold out. So we're shopping for a trailer. And it's something I can still pull with my FJ. If you Google Intech Flyer Explore,
my uncle had one.
Was that the one we were? Sorry, go ahead.
I said, how did your uncle like his?
He towed it with a F-150 with a V6, and it had no issues.
Yeah, no, they're not heavy. I mean, unless you put a side by side in it or something.
He used his specifically for snowbirding down to Arizona, and he used it for like 3 years, I think.
Oh, that seems like the worst thing to snowbird to Arizona in, but
yeah,
like I don't know. I guess they do have an AC unit, some of them. So I'm on the search for one of those. We've been looking. My wife found one in Colorado for, like a used one for a good deal. So I may have to just like take a couple days off work and randomly road trip. We'll see.
Wait, is that the same brand that you went and looked at the Northwest Overland Rally?
Yeah, there was like a search and rescue guy that had one there.
Yeah. I think I was with you when you walked into it and was looking at it.
Yeah, they're essentially a cargo trailer with a kitchen in the front.
Yeah.
And then they have like in the walls, there's like these fold out beds that fold to the outside. And then the inside space is just, you could park just like a side by side or something in there.
Just like a pop-up, huh? They just fold out just like a pop-up.
Well, it's a little more straightforward than that, it appears. So the main thing is she wants to be able to get in and like get to because like when I want to go camping with the pop-up, I got to put it on my back porch. I got to pop it up so she can stock the fridge and like put all the stuff in. And then you come home and it's like, I need to get all the stuff out of it, pop it up again. And it's annoying.
You just don't like that you have the same trailer as Ben. I can see what's going on here.
And I'm going to be totally honest. I told her, I was like, look, I like the idea of pulling this around with the FJ, but maybe we should get like a bigger one that I can just put the FJ in and we'll just tow the FJ inside of it. Like they make these.
You got a Power Stroke.
Yeah. My son is 9 years old. In 4 or 5 years, like he's going to be man-sized, like, and we're going to be facing the same problem where we're outgrowing our trailer. She's like, well, we've had ours. We'll just get another trailer in 5 years. And I was like, yes.
So, all right. Okay.
I didn't know
You better get that written down.
Yeah. I didn't know that was an option because I've actually kind of secretly been looking at a bunch of like sweet crawler hauler, kind of toy hauler / cargo trailers that an FJ would fit in. And, yeah, so I kind of have it all scoped out already.
Ben is the closest to Spokane, Plow Guy Dave. He is probably 6 hours away.
It's 3 hours away to Spokane, or 4 hours away to Spokane.
Is that it?
I want to know why you want to go to Spokane. Did you want one of us to get mugged, or did you want to buy fentanyl?
Because you don't have to go that far to get fentanyl.
No, I can get it locally for cheap.
Tacoma, 20 minutes away, easy. Actually, I could probably get it just in town here.
Oh, he says the reason he asked about Spokane is because Savage from We Like Shooting got in a bit of a hairy situation and had to call search and rescue. Yeah, that would be a bit of a drive for Ben to head over there.
I mean,
to help out Savage.
It might be worth it, though. Might be. Though I'd like to meet Savage in person.
Maybe we should have him on the show and mock him for whatever his situation was. Tell him
ridicule him.
I have no idea the situation was, but I'm assuming it was vehicle related. Mostly do. Okay. Well, either way, let's have him on the show so we can tell him how everything he did wrong and really armchair quarterback it.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So did you guys see the tornadoes over the weekend that like hit the Midwest, like Nebraska and Iowa?
No, I did leave my house, but I was still like 3 hours. I wasn't even close to the Midwest.
No, well, I meant just online or anything. My first thought when I saw Iowa was Josh, and so I messaged him, and as you see, he's on here tonight. He survived
because he's in Ohio.
Ohio. No, Ohio got hit too. He had warnings. He had high wind warnings.
I thought, okay, well, maybe high wind warnings, but yeah, it was Iowa and Nebraska that got tornadoes.
They had high wind warnings where I was camping. Like, that's not a tornado. Bug Guy Dave says so snow wheeling in the city pickup. You'd be surprised how insanely common that is out here. I mean, I think you're in Colorado, so I would think that'd be common there, but maybe there's enough snow that people are smarter there. But in like Oregon, Washington, like a large number of search and rescue call outs are people that drove something into the snow that they shouldn't have.
Yeah, tons of them.
And honestly, like the Facebook page 4x4 recoveries, I would bet that's around half is that there. Maybe more.
Yep. We also want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Patch. Head over to patriotpatch.co and check out their selection of great patches, shirts, cleaning mats, signs, and stickers. You can also join the Patch of the Month Club for $15 and receive a patch, matching sticker, and artist proof each month.
Have tire troubles ever left you deflated? Colby Valve has got you covered. Ever have a valve stem leak? Colby Valve makes reusable and easily replaceable valve stems that don't require you to remove your tire from the wheel. They work with your off-road rig, ATV, side-by-side, commuter vehicle, or even your tractor. Never be left stranded again because of a busted valve stem. They also have a tire repair kit for those punctures that keep you away from doing your favorite thing, wheeling. Make sure to check out colbyvalve.com or ask for them at your local off-road products store.
All right, guys, we only got one news story this week, but it's a big one here. It is from Auto Evolution, and it is about Ram, not Dodge, but Ram launching 5 new trucks. You might think 5 new trucks. There's only one truck. It's a Dodge Ram, or just a Ram. But these are like submodels of the Ram. So you got 1500s and 2500s that we're going to talk about here. So at the beginning of the article mentions the release of the new models is considered by the company a true milestone in the evolution of its trucks. But most importantly for us, it marks the arrival of the most capable, most affordable off-road truck lineup in the industry. The changes Ram prepared for us apply to both the light and heavy duty family of trucks. 3 of the new releases have to do with the 1500. The rest refer to the 2500. All are described as the most off-road models Ram has offered. Most off-road models. Maybe I should say most off-road capable models. I'm not sure what that really means there. I think they forgot a word.
Possibly. Marketing for you. So our first one here is the 2025 Ram 1500 RHO. Comes in at $69,000, and it's a 3.0 liter HO SST Hurricane twin turbo engine with 540 horsepower and 521 pounds of torque. It has Black Bilstein Hawk E2 adaptive performance shocks, a 5-link coil system, and the company's active terrain dynamic suspension management system. Offers 40% more rear wheel travel than the rest of the 1500 lineup, and the ground clearance of 11.8 inches. The overall ride height is 2 inches taller than the rest of the 1500s, and it rides on 35-inch tires.
Ram isn't going to be making the TRX anymore, and we talked in a news story about a month and a half or 2 months ago about the RHO replacing the TRX, and this doesn't have anywhere near TRX horsepower, so I don't know. I don't think this can't replace it.
Nothing has ever made me want to talk in like a Scooby-Doo voice more than a Ram RHO. Row, Ram, row. I can't wait. I can't wait to see a Ram row.
Ram row.
All right, and then the 2025 Ram 1500 Rebel X. The suite of extras hidden underneath this name includes the Rebel Level 2 equipment group that throws into the mix the Uconnect 5 system with its 14.5-inch touchscreen, a dual-pane sunroof, power tailgate, and a 14-speaker Harman hard-on premium sound system, among others.
I thought it was Harman Kardon. I'm gonna have to Google that.
It's definitely an H. So, yeah, seems odd.
Yeah. The old Harman hard-on.
I work with a guy named Harman, so it's even stranger. The Ram 15.
Yeah, it is Harman Kardon with a K. So
okay,
that was copied. That was copied directly from their website. So yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't. No, the Ram 1500 Rebel X is available in a color that's exclusive to this model, Mojave Sand, a hue that's made even more impressive by the black elements fitted on the body, including the grille and the bumper with its skid plate and the bezel on the headlamps. So the exclusive color is brown. Is that what I'm
with black?
Brown with black accents. I'm assuming a matte brown. I mean, I haven't seen this color, but I like yeah, that's super exclusive, bro. Like, it's brown. Yeah. Truck offers about 1 more inch of ride height, 33-inch tires wrapped around 17-inch rims, and Bilstein shocks, powered by a 3-liter Hurricane standard output. See, too bad it's not that really high output. Standard output SST engine rated at 420 horsepower and 469 foot-pounds of torque, controlled by an 8-speed automatic transmission. The Ram 1500 Rebel X offers something that no other truck in the company's lineup presently has, and that's the rough road cruise control feature. Imagine doing an off-road ghost ride. Did Dodge just copy crawl control? Is that what happened?
But I think so. But what they're saying is that no other truck in the company's lineup has this. So it's not that it's new to the world. It's just new to Ram.
Travis Hudson. It's still a row. It just stands for regular high output. Thank you.
Regular high output.
That's the kind of comedy that really I love. Yeah. It's also a row.
That's regular great. High output. I really do hope people ghost ride that whip. And the videos are out there, and then they can't seem to get back into the truck, and it just continues off a cliff or over the trail. Or
surely it can tell if you're sitting in the seat, or when you open the door, does it work? I would hope.
Probably. You're probably right, but let's hope they defeat those controls.
I mean, this may be a stretch, but the Mercedes with the the cool bouncing.
Yeah.
I mean, Mercedes and Ram already have, some connections. I would way rather have that. Not that I'd use it to get unstuck. I mean, I might try, but it would be cool to just roll up bouncing all the time. I like it.
All right. The next one is the 2025 Ram 1500 Warlock. Are you guys familiar with the Warlock name at all?
I mean, I'm familiar with it from video games and things.
From Dodge's heritage. It was there
was a homeless guy that was screaming that he was he was a warlock the other day. So I mean, I'm familiar with it on that level.
He was being paid by Ram.
He was trying to cast fireball on me by throwing grass, but whatever.
That's fun. That's really fun. I hope you played along. It burns! It burns!
Start screaming. So points of damage.
So the Warlock is $54,000. It's a half ton, and it's meant to pay tribute to the pickup trucks by the same name that made the rounds in the 70s. The model sets itself apart from the rest of the crowd through its 18-inch wheels that are painted black. They have Bilstein shocks that provide a 1-inch lift, distinct exterior badges, and unique decals. This one is also powered by the RHO, the regular high output 3-liter Hurricane standard output SST engine, 420 horse, 469 foot-pounds of torque, 8-speed automatic. I do want to
really love that they set themselves apart with their 18-inch wheels.
Yes.
It just stands
that
out.
Are painted, they're painted black.
Black 18-inch wheels. When I see a truck with black, I'm like, wow, whoa, bro! Like, look at that. Like, I do a double take usually. Sometimes a shoulder roll.
What's really, really funny is the last vehicle, the Rebel X, and you described it as being sand color with black accents. I'm looking at my screen and take that down for a second, Ben. I look at my screen and there's only one vehicle on the screen and it's sand colored with black accents right behind Coy. And then we read the next article that also sets itself apart about having black painted wheels, and there they are again.
Well, to
Coy,
be
you
fair,
really stand out with your rig.
I was never trying to. To be fair, though, the Rebel, those are 17s, and obviously bumping it to 18s, pop. Like, yeah, makes
super off-road going to 18s from 17s because you don't need sidewalls for it or anything.
Yeah. Well, the Warlock has got to be a street truck. It's not. I don't think it's even though they mentioned that these are the most off-road capable trucks, the way they talked about that one sounds to me like it's just for the street.
Looking at the different prices, it's like just better trim levels. It seems like you get the best out of the Ruh-Oh, and then the X is kind of just like
Rambo.
Yeah. It's got sand versus you can have this adaptive performance shocks and a 14-inch screen.
Very rough roots control. Yeah.
Next up is the 2024 2500 Power Wagon. It's 24. In its 2024 incarnation, the model relies upon its unique suspension system, set up with a pair of Blistine stocks with a modified control arms and spring rates to give the truck a 2-inch lift. It's meant for hardcore use. The truck also is equipped with locking differentials and a 1,200-pound Warn winch powered by the mighty 6.4-liter Hemi, linked to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and the power plant spins the wheel shod in 33-inch Goodyear Wrangler dirt tracks.
Ben's favorite tire.
I still like the dirt tracks.
A lot of people do.
And it's funny, I've never gone back to them. That was back with my first 2 Jeeps.
Yeah, so the Power Wagon still is not available in a diesel. I wanted to make that clear here for this.
That's crazy.
And the reason why is because they have intercooler issues and winch issues, incompatibility. You can't have them occupy the same place at the same time, apparently.
And it's clearly over the last 40 years or however long they've been making Power Wagons, they haven't been able to figure out how to put an intercooler in front of the truck and a winch. Like, it's a problem that's insurmountable. Like, what are you going to do?
Insurmountable. Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah, I've seen the Power Wagons. They are at least capable out on the trail.
Absolutely.
It's just they're massive. So not very good for the Northwest with all of our trees.
All right. And now we have the 24 Ram 2500 heavy duty Rebel. Offered with a choice between 2 engines, the 6.7 liter Cummins turbo diesel with 370 horsepower and 850 foot-pounds of torque, or the 6.4 liter Hemi that comes as standard 410 horsepower, 429 foot-pounds of torque. The Rebel shares a lot of styling cues with the Power Wagon, but setting it apart visually are the unique badging and sportier hood. The truck rides on large 20-inch wheels wrapped in 33-inch tires and comes complete with a 12,000-pound Warn winch and a towing capacity of 16,870 pounds. The truck can only be had as a crew cab with a 6-foot 4-inch bed. So I'm curious.
Hold up.
I'll see what I'm going with here.
Yeah.
It's available with a diesel. And
What?
Is it because the hood's taller? We went JDM and went with a top mount intercooler?
It's got a unique, sportier hood. I don't think so.
I'm guessing when you get the diesel, you just can't get the winch, but I do like that we just mentioned that.
It says it comes complete with a 12,000-pound Warn winch. So I wouldn't be surprised if you could spec it with both.
That would be
They've figured it out.
That would be a sweet tow rig. Like, you don't really need the Power Wagon, but the Rebel 2500 with the diesel and a winch, 20-inch tires, a little bit, it makes it stand out apart too much with the 20s for me, especially if you painted them black. But I'd be an awesome tow rig.
It would be great. There it is. There's the lineup. I'd drive any of them.
Yeah, I would.
They really stand out.
They stand out.
Really. Especially that sand with the black accents. It's almost
nobody's done that before.
Or are doing it. I mean, you almost might see that in our main topic here.
It's mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. All right. Well, speaking of main topic, I just wanted to mention that on episode 410 and 427, we did a breakdown of the new Toyota Tacoma and the Land Cruiser, respectively. So we're going to kind of break this one down the same way. And I think we just kind of keep doing this anytime somebody launches a new vehicle that is all new and worth talking about. We
did it with we did that with the JLs when they came out and a couple other vehicles.
Yeah. So if you want to go back and listen to those, because you might be thinking, well, hang on a second, this is like a Toyota Tacoma or it's like a Land Cruiser. You might want to go back to those episodes, 410 and 427. Really easy to remember. 410 is like a shotgun cage, and 427 is an engine size. Super easy to remember. Eric says will we do one when the new Xterra comes out? 100% we'll do one. Unless it's a unibody, then we won't.
Well, we'll probably still do one, but it'll be
a news story.
Be like a degrading kind of thing. So unless you're into humiliation.
Some people are.
Yeah, I mean whatever.
Yeah. So, Toyota's finally released the details on it. We knew it was coming, so we're going to break it down for you. We've got some comparisons for you as well. And I just want to throw this out here at the very, very front. And this isn't like a slam at all. So the last 4Runner were the 5th gen. They built them from 2010 to 2024, which is 15 model years. That's a really long time. 15 model years seems like a really long time. But that's not as long as the 2nd gen Nissan Frontier, the thing that I have, which they ran for 17 model years. So, and I'm not saying that because the Nissans are better for running for 17 years. I'm just saying that's both of those are way too long. We were overdue for one a long time ago.
Everybody raves about Toyota's reliability, but it's not really fair when they don't do anything new. Like, of course, you're reliable. You've been doing this for 14 years. Ford's redesigned the F-150 3 times. And
that's
they offer
true.
17 different trim models. Like, yeah.
With black wheels.
Yeah, they have black wheels, silver wheels, tans. They have mattes, shiny gloss, all colors.
Yeah. All right. I didn't label who gets to say what. So, Coy, why don't you take the first one and we'll just kind of go in round robin here if you want to talk about the interior.
All right. Let's talk about the outside. The 2025 4Runner will be offered in no fewer than 9 trims. That, right off the top of my head, that seems like a lot for Toyota because they don't usually let you have like a lot of trim models. 9's like So that'll be SR5, TRD Sport, TRD Sport Premium, Trail Hunter, TRD Off-Road, TRD Off-Road Premium, TRD Pro, Limited, and Platinum.
Did we need all those like extra
I
premiums?
I want to mock Toyota so badly right now. So I'm going like TRD Sport, okay, fair. That used to just, you remember when it was just like you got a Toyota TRD? There was like an off-road package and then TRD, and then you got like a locker and Bilstein shocks. Now we have Sport Premium. Then Trail Hunter, because you're out hunting trails, really upgrade. TRD Off-Road, even better. And then TRD Off-Road Premium, remember? And then, TRD Pro. Like, what are we doing here? Can't we just do like a TRD and then like a Pro and then just move on?
Have a Trail Hunter package.
I don't need a Trail Hunter package. Like,
I'm just saying, it have like the Trail Hunter package. It's got, because like they used to have like the Nightshade package, so you could get any model, SR5, Platinum, Limited, or TRD, and you get the Nightshade package, and it was just black accents, black wheels, and I think it had the sideboards that came down off the side.
I get the the black trim packages and stuff, but like they have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 off-road models.
Yeah.
There's like 4 different kinds of terrain to go off-road on. You know what I mean? You can go mudding, you go on the rocks, you go in the sand, the snow. And everything else is a combination of those.
They've got the Trail Hunters, obviously the Overland package, right?
It definitely is.
So you've got the Overlander, so your mall crawler package, and then you've got your road package, because got to have those extra 2 terrains there.
Do you think the TRD Pro will come with the cool suspension seats in the back and the front, like the?
No mention of the suspension seats.
I mean, it better. Like the Tacoma has it, so it better.
No mention. No mention.
I don't know. Anyways, I'll move on. But like, let's all just remember to make fun of 4Runners for that alone. That we have 9 trim packages, all of which we could do half of these and have it be fine. More closely related to the Land Cruiser and the global Land Cruiser Parado than before, the 4Runner now rides on the same 112.2-inch golden ratio wheelbase, up from the 109.8 inches. So wildly different. They increased that by a little over 2 inches. So at 2.5 inches, which I hear some people say that 2 inches is a lot, but whatever. It grows similarly in overall length. Wow, these setups are hard for me right now. Adding more than 3.5 inches. Good Lord. 3.5 inches nose to tail and in width, where it expands by 2 inches. TRD Pro and Trail Hunter get exaggerated fender flares in black, gloss for the TRD Pro, and matte for the Trail Hunter. Whilst it may appear to the hardcore off-road models are wider still, this is a visual trick created by painting the fender flares black, trimming them up a bit, and fitting fatter all-terrain tires. So, I haven't seen it in person, so it doesn't really look wider in pictures to me, but maybe I noticed this has black wheels, which really pop.
Yeah, and it's sand. Right? That tan sand, yeah. Never been done before.
Never been done.
Yeah, never seen a sand. Exterior styling is heavily influenced by the new Tacomas, while the interior is nearly identical. Longtime fans will be delighted to know the power roll down rear window returns, which we were talking about this pre-show. It never went away. I don't know, or it was an option. That's unclear to me if that was gone or not, but it still has, or now has, I'm not sure which, the roll down rear window, which is honestly almost my favorite thing about 4Runners. Let's see. We'll appreciate the lift kit itself can also be powered because they're so heavy and difficult to lift up. And I like to wait for it to slowly raise up and beep and all that stuff. I really like that on my wife's RAV4.
That spare tire looks like it's hanging really low. Wow.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's an angle.
The 5th gen still has a roll down window. I think maybe they were surprised that it's still there. Maybe.
Oh, this article just mentioned that it was back, so as if it went somewhere.
Leroy Overlanding says you will still be able to huff exhaust fumes while you drive. Just what I've been looking for. It's so you can return fire without blowing your rear window out. It's
exactly
all it's for. OG fans who remember first-gen 4Runner of the 1980s will love the return of the wrap-over rear quarter windows that curve into the roof for a bit of that safari look. I actually, myself, I like that. I do appreciate that. Toyota designers have hidden Easter eggs in the new 4Runner headlight assemblies. Oh, yay. On most trims, an illuminated 4Runner appears in the bottom corner. On Trail Hunter, the passenger headlight features the Compass logo, while the driver headlight says Trail Hunter, and the TRD Pro says TRD in the passenger headlight and Pro in the driver headlight. TRD Pro models also replace the 4Runner badge on the tailgate with TRD Pro. Yeah, man, that's so cool. So cool. TRD Pro gets raised roof rails in place of more substantial. I'm sorry. TRD Pro gets raised roof rails in place of the more substantial metal platform style rack of the last version. The Trail Hunter now sports the biggest rack. Limited gets no rack, which makes it look a bit bald.
After I read that, I looked at the picture of this 6th gen with no roof rack, and it does look like a bald guy.
I mean,
so there's a Trail Hunter. Are there any of the without a rack? I think it was a blue. I think it was a blue color, Ben.
No, I don't think I.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, it does look bald.
I kind of like the no rack look because it's more retro looking that way to me, and that's kind of the cues that I'm liking on it. I think is those small retro things.
I'm just wondering who's going to keep the factory headlights. So many people I know with Toyota, the 4Runners end up replacing their factory headlights to begin with, because
because they want like LED and glow and HID rings and stuff and all the super.
Yeah,
or like the modern version of Altiza taillights. Remember those like chrome taillights that all the ADM guys? The headlight replacement to have like LED daytime running lights is the like modern version of that.
So looking at the exterior of this one, it kind of reminds me of my 4Runner, like a 4th gen 4Runner, like how the fenders bubble out. And with how I have mine Raptor line, just how the fender flares are painted, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of like mine, but obviously this is a lot better.
It Bennett, when I saw this picture, it also reminded me of yours. The way the body panels cut in on the doors and stuff. I think you have similar shapes on yours, and obviously you have the black fenders and
this it's like a 4th gen and a 5th gen. I don't know.
Here's what I would like. Pop that picture back up.
If you took a picture of yours and you dumped it into AI and said, make a 6th gen 4Runner, that's what this would have come up with.
You know how like half doors are all the rage to do the half door? I hope that when these are old enough to get modified, that somebody trims the bottom of the door to match that kind of upside down boat shape. So it's the same thing. You just need to see out through there, and it would be cool. Like, you just trim the bottom of it, and there's like a perfect line to trim there. Anyways, you can still roll your window down, and maybe it won't stick out that bottom part. I think so.
I just like the fact that so unlike the 4th gen, it actually goes in. The 4th gen, it bubbles out. It seems like it sucks it in, so that's like less chance of getting door panel damage.
Yeah, there's already a crease there, so if you crease it more, it's more likely to bend on that seam, and you can pull it out easier.
I am worried about people breaking windows in the Pacific Northwest on some of the trails on that rear window that wraps up and over. I love the wrap up and over window, but I see a lot of people rub that portion of their SUVs and trucks into trees.
And
but if you're gonna, I would rather knock that top corner window out than have to do sheet metal work on that top corner. Like,
I suppose.
Coy, have you ever had to replace your rear window, corner window?
No.
So I've got a buddy who's got an FJ, and he's had to replace that curved window. That's really expensive glass, and that's
I bet it is.
About this,
how is your buddy knocking that window out? It's the size of a volleyball. First of all,
he's the one that jumped it at Tahuya, so I don't know. It's 2-wheel drive at that too.
Look, if you knock a dent in the roof, if you're kind of, oh, I can't. Never mind.
The 2-wheel drive FJ owner. I remember that.
Okay, yeah, he was on the forums. Moving on.
Yep.
Ben, you why don't you cover the interior here?
All right. So you've seen the inside of the new Tacoma. You've seen the inside of a new 4Runner. The design is identical. The panels are the same. The same trim level changes the trim materials and accent colors. An 8-inch center infotainment center, a 7-inch instrument cluster are standard. The higher trim levels have a 14-inch infotainment and a 12.3-inch instrument cluster. Toyota's Safety Sense 3.0 suite of active and passive safety systems is on every new 4Runner, bringing everything from adaptive cruise control to steering assistant. Platinum models also get a heads-up display and automatic wipers. Dirt-focused models get Toyota's full arsenal of off-road aids. The multi-terrain system select and all of its drive modes now work in both 4-high and 4-low, while crawl control, effectively off-road cruise control, is now quieter. You can spec the multi-terrain monitor system on most of its models as well, including a 360-degree camera, 360-degree cameras that look under the vehicle by cleverly stitching together video inputs, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's an interior Easter egg as well, yet another bit cribbed from the Tacoma. On the driver's side dash, there's an accessible only when the doors open, a circular hidden compartment with a lid that reads accessory ready in Morse code. It's only about 2 inches deep and 6 inches in diameter. So we don't know what you're going to store there. Probably your chew.
Moon pie.
Moon pie. There you go. Throw a moon pie in there for every guy you know.
They get smashed. They get smashed so easy. This is protects your moon pie.
You guys don't understand. I could fit a tuna can in there. Not mine. One or two nicely poked holes. I stick a tuna can in there. You're going to be wondering what that smell in your 4Runner is for 4 months. And it's going to be hilarious.
There's even an optional third row, which even Toyota admits it's a last resort when you really need to give another kid or two a ride home from soccer practice. Apparently it's time for me to sell the minivan in the 4th gen and buy a 6th gen, right? It even comes in sand color. Thanks for the note, guys. You can get a third row with the hybrid. The battery and the third row occupy the same. Oh, you can't get a third row.
Cannot
get the you cannot get the TRD Pro with the hybrid and the third row because they occupy the same space in the cargo area. Digital rear view mirror, which I've got a digital, it's a dash cam digital rear view mirror. I like mine. It's nice to see that this is an option on there. 3 USB-C ports up front, more available in the rear, and wireless charging added to the upper trim levels. All variants get keyless start, but if you want to get a digital key, only available on some models. And you also need to pay a subscription because, subscriptions are so much fun. Thanks, BMW.
I'm guessing that subscription is like maybe you have the key on your phone. And so you don't even have to have a key in your pocket. You just have your cell phone with you.
It's something like that.
And then you're out and about and your cell phone dies and you can't start your car. Yes, makes good sense.
I didn't see it mentioned in here. Maybe it's on the TRD models. That last picture with the air compressor in the back.
It'll come later, but yes. Yeah. So for the chassis, as with the Tacoma and Land Cruiser, it's using the TNGA-F global body-on-frame architecture. It also underpins the Sequoia and Tundra and Lexus GX and LX. So they're like building everything on the same platform. And we talked about this back with the Tacoma. We hope that Sequoia and Tundra and Land Cruiser parts will be interchangeable with all these things. Maybe you can get your long travel or mid travel suspension by just bolting up some factory components. So
it's going to put total chaos out of business, but
I doubt it. So the 6th generation has 1,000 more pounds of towing capacity. So it was 5,000. We're now up to 6. This part is kind of throwing the internet in an uproar here. The guys over at the Fast Lane Truck or TFL Truck, whoever they are, they snapped a photo of the door sticker, and on the door sticker it says that it has a combined weight of occupants and cargo should never exceed 895 pounds. And if you divide 895 by 5, if you have 5 adults, the average person has to weigh 179 pounds. None of us. Yeah, actually, I bet you all 3 of us in that 4Runner would put it over the GVW or pretty close.
We'd be right there. I was thinking about this. So, tongue weight, or you can that's going to be like 500 pounds. It always is on Toyotas,
right?
Like. So does that minus out of your payload, or is payload already taking into account that you could have a 500 pounds weight on your hitch?
It says on that sticker, combined weight of occupants and cargo. So tongue weight isn't cargo necessarily, but I mean it's acting like weight in the back of your rig.
Yeah. So with the upped 6, they upped the towing. I wondered, is it possible to get that upped towing? They backed it out of kind of some payload. I don't know, man.
I'm curious if, because these are pre-production models, that's part of it. It's just like, hey, until it has an official rating, after all final testing has been completed, blah, 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 it has to be set at this amount because of these specs on the vehicle.
Possibly. So that's something we'll have to watch for a while, guys. That seems ridiculously low. I mean, what's the point of the roof rack even still? Like, roof racks are almost pointless when your payload is less than your family. Your roof, like, you can't put a rooftop tent's going to be with a rack like 300 pounds, and obviously it's a 4Runner. People are going to put a rooftop tent on it immediately.
Yeah. So before the show, you guys ran out and looked at your rigs. Coy, you said your FJ Cruiser had a payload of 1,130 pounds.
Yep.
And Ben's on his door said 950 pounds. So Ben's is more than what the sticker said.
Oh yeah, okay.
And also, to be clear, this was on a Trail Hunter model, so it's got a lot of accessories already on it. So maybe a more base model without skid plates, without snorkels, without tow hitches, with smaller wheels, no roof rack. Maybe it has a higher payload. I don't know. It should, in theory. My Nissan Frontier, the internet tells me that I've got a 1,446 pound payload. I've got a longer wheelbase. That comes into play with payloads and stuff like that.
We should have looked up what the Tacoma payload was.
Which gen?
The newest, because they share a bunch of stuff, and like the Land Cruiser payload, the new Land Cruiser.
So it's 1705 for the payload.
Okay, yeah. And look at, that's the Tacoma or new Land Cruiser?
Tacoma.
Check the new Land Cruiser. Because I mean, the new Land Cruiser should be, I mean, in my mind, it should be slightly less because it's probably it's a bigger body.
So depending upon the the package, it says $1,687 to $1,797.
That's huge.
That's like a Land Cruiser thing to have really high payloads.
It always has been, yeah.
I remember us talking about that before, which it's sharing so many similarities with Tacoma and Land Cruiser. I just don't see how it doesn't have a nearly as high or equal payload.
The fifth gen 4Runner has a 1,495 to 1,700 pound payload.
This has to be like a pre-production thing. That makes no sense for it to be that low.
All I can think of is it's a pre-production thing.
Yeah, I guess that's something to keep your eye out for down the road. Ground clearance is listed at 9.2 inches. It is unclear how that differs with the various trims. That could be just the best. It could be the one with the highest ground clearance, like the Trail Hunter or the TRD Pro. The 5th gen was 9.6 inches with the 4-wheel drive model and 9 inches with 2-wheel drive. So it's actually gone down. If that's the maximum height, it's gone down by 0.4 inches. So approach angle 32 degrees, departure angle 24 degrees. That doesn't really mean much unless you're comparing it to something. And I think I've got a comparison later on for that. And then this was a tidbit that I picked up on as I was punching all this in. None of the articles I read, and I even did some Google searching, none of them mention the weight of the vehicle. That means that Toyota didn't publish it for them to know. And if Toyota didn't publish it, are they embarrassed? They failed out. They flunked out of Jenny Craig, or what's going on there? Any thoughts?
I mean, I kind of like if it's something they're proud of, they usually say it right away. And honestly, that 0.4 of ground clearance loss is because the tires are squished that much more at PSI, probably for the extra weight. I don't know.
Could be. I mean, they're also running the biggest tires they've ever run, so they've gained ground clearance with tires, but they've lost overall ground clearance.
Yeah, and did they say that's the TRD Pro's ground clearance, or is
they didn't? But if they're publishing a ground clearance number, I'd expect them to pick the highest, the one they would brag the most about.
Well, the ground clearance number always pretty much comes off the bottom of the rear diff, right? I mean, that's always the lowest hanging thing, essentially.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it might be that tire, actually. Spare tire.
Might be this tire, exactly.
Because I mean, you
what's the Tacoma's ground clearance? Because it has gonna have the same type tires and everything, but it's gonna have more room for the spare tire to sit up under the bed, probably. I wonder if the tire sits that low to kind of make room for the battery area and for the hybrids, so it has to sit lower. So
11 inches.
It's got to be that tire then, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it says 11 inches.
Well, and maybe that's on the Pro or something, and this 9.2 is on just the base model, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's base model, but who knows? Maybe it's just that spare tire hangs down so low.
All right, guys, let's talk about drivetrain. The lower trims use Toyota's 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder with 278 horsepower and 370 foot-pounds of torque. This engine works through an 8-speed automatic and a 2-speed 4-wheel drive transfer case with low range. Higher trims get a hybrid version of the same that inserts 48 horsepower electric motor between the engine and transmission and jetsons the starter motor. With the electric boost, a total combined output rises to 326 horsepower and 425 foot-pounds of torque. The old 4-liter V6 produced 270 horsepower and 278 foot-pounds of torque, but also only had a 5-speed automatic transmission. What I'm excited about is reflashes. Obviously, it's going to be a couple years. Ben and me got reflashed, and they made a substantial difference on turbo vehicles. It's going to be 50 horsepower if it's not more. Like, it's going to be a chunk, and it's going to be awesome. And with that 10-speed automatic, like, it's going to really wake these things up.
Even with the lowest trim, it's still got great horsepower and torque.
Yeah.
Not class leading, but it's still a really good number.
Yeah, I'll definitely bump up. It's a lot of complaints that I've heard is it's really sluggish when people talk about driving a 4Runner.
Yeah.
The battery stores only 1.9 kilowatts, and if it's anything like the new Tundra, this hybrid system will be tuned for performance, not fuel economy. Toyota doesn't have numbers for us yet, but we hope it'll improve meaningfully on the old models 16, 19, 17 mile per gallon city highway combined. Numbers. The hybrid Tundra and GX, though, don't give us a lot of hope. If I remember right, the hybrid Land Cruiser, though, was pretty amazing.
Yeah, but that was represented from Toyota, not real world numbers. And I think that the Tundra was represented, it's supposed to be pretty high as well. And it's not, people aren't getting those numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. The extra power and ratios will likely drop the 0 to 60 time from 8 seconds to roughly 7 without the hybrid system and 6 with it. Rear-wheel drive variants get a limited slip rear diff, and the limited and new range topping platinum luxury trims can be equipped with the full-time four-wheel drive system with locking center and rear differentials borrowed from the Land Cruiser.
A 6-second 4Runner. That's quick.
It makes me angry. I probably had a fast car that 6 second, like at one point in my life, and that's upsetting.
All right, well, let's look at some of these TRD models. You want to kick it off with the Trail Hunter, Ben?
Yeah, so the more powerful hybrid powertrain is standard, locking rear differential, electronically locking and unlocking front anti-roll bars, which is kind of cool. Shocks are Old Man Emu 2.5 external reservoirs. Front upper control arms are forged aluminum pieces colored green with an etched Trail Hunter logo. 33-inch Toyo Open Country all-terrains on bronze 18-inch wheels, 2 inches up front and 1.5-inch rear lift. Skid plates, rock rails, Rigid Industries LED fog lights can cycle between yellow and white light. Grill mounted LED light bar has been borrowed from the Tacoma and the Tundra as on those trucks, and can also be activated when high beams are active. Desert air intake, not a snorkel, as it's not waterproof. ARB roof rack, built-in air compressor lives in the cargo area. It's a Trail Hunter exclusive right now, but will likely become an option on the TRD Pro. 120 volt, 2,400 watt 3-prong outlet in the back that comes with all the hybrid 2025 4Runners. 3 auxiliary switches are pre-wired, so you can add more goodies down the road.
I really like that they have the LED light bar that activates with high beams in the grill, because if it's anything like, I had the auxiliary lights, they weren't a light bar, but they're on the bumper with the FJ. They came with the Hella 500 auxiliary lights, and it's just a button and you can leave it on. So when you turn your high beams off, they're off, and when you turn them on, they're on, and you can just leave that button on.
That's
you don't
cool.
have to hit it every time, at least on my FJ. So I always have that on, and I seldom use my high beams, but when I'm like towing a trailer or somebody high beams me, I'm in suntan your soul mode instantly.
This is 3, but there's 4.
It's amazing. I've probably done retina damage to multiple people in and around my area by them high beaming me and be like, nope, I just sit higher than you. Boom. How's that feel? And it's a good feeling. I like to do it.
Yeah. That's why I dug this one up, Ben, was I thought that there was 4, but the article mentions 3 auxiliary switches. So
I like how they're pre-wired. Hopefully they're pretty easy to wire into.
I would anticipate that there's just something you make a connection under the hood.
Yeah.
All right. The TRD Pro has the more powerful hybrid powertrain as well. That's standard. It's got the locking rear differential, electronic locking, unlocking front anti-roll bar. This one has Fox Racing internal bypass units. So that's interesting because the Trail Hunter has external reservoir. This has internal bypass, and the TRD Pro. I'm sure Toyota knows what they're doing, but the internet told me that you need the external bypasses when you're doing desert running, and the TRD Pro they specifically say is for desert running, and the Trail Hunter is specifically for overlanding. So I just thought that was interesting. Springs are tuned.
Throw this out here real quick. I had to Google this. 2400 watt inverter. You can run a waffle iron with that.
That's good to know.
Waffle irons are about 1200 watts. This is really going to open up possibilities for us in the future if Ben gets one. That means we could probably run an air fryer. Your crock pots. Like there's a lot of cool things we can do.
I'm salivating right now. All right. The springs are tuned for bigger bumps, and the forged upper control arms are red and say TRD. The front skid plate also gets TRD branding, as do the black and red 18-inch wheels. These guys are stepping it up over Ram. They've got black and red on their wheels. All right. 33-inch Toyo Open Country ATs. Ground clearance, according to this article, says 9.2 inches for the TRD Pro. It also gets the white rigid fog lamps and the LED light bar in the grille. And this has a, quote, functional, unquote, hood scoop that allows air to enter, but it doesn't really do anything with it. I'd love to. They mentioned that the air intake is shoved up in the upper corner, and that scoop doesn't connect in any manner to it, although it is yeah, I'm not sure why they do that.
I guess it lets heat out when you're parked.
It could, yeah. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe it saved them like 6 cents a sheet metal to have that hole in the hood, and so they're like, let's make it functional.
So, out of curiosity here, so it's changed from the traditional pulling air from the fender, which is kind of nice. That Toyota has been doing. I think they did that with the 3rd gens and the 2nd gens. So it's pulling air from looks under to the hood.
No, I'm sure that
not under the hood, but under the front grille.
No, that goes into the front fender. I'm positive. That's exactly where my box is on my FJ. Same spot.
If it pulls it from the grill, anytime you go into the water, you're gonna have a bad day.
I mean, maybe there's some guard in there. I don't know. You see the rubber molding in this bottom left-hand corner.
I do see that, and I don't understand what that's for.
That rubber molding, I would assume, keeps water or something from getting into there, but it's possible, I guess. But that's
maybe
right through the front.
That's where you store the rag for your dipstick when you want to check your oil. You just tuck it down in there.
Perfect.
Cool. Do a picture of the front of it with the hood closed. Maybe we can see something.
Let's see if I can get a straight on shot.
I mean, sure doesn't look like that's where it would be to me, but I'm no expert. All right, the TRD Sport. We got a lot on this. It has its own TRD Sport Tune suspension for more off-road goings.
On-road.
Or sorry, on-road goings, yeah.
Yeah.
Gets the same 20-inch wheels as the Limited. So those 20-inch wheels really make it pop. And then stiffer suspension.
Pricing's not been announced yet. Closer to its on sale date this fall. I don't know. It's what you guys like more, the Trail Hunter or the TRD Pro so far?
Trail Hunter.
I like the anti-roll, the locking and unlocking anti-roll bar. Though I'm wondering how reliable it'll be, if it'll be like the Jeeps where they break after a while.
I guess it's
Toyota though, not Jeep.
True enough.
Sway bar is the only thing that I'm going to replace every single thing that they're offering on this. So it's not really, I wouldn't buy, I don't think, a Pro or a Trail Hunter because I'm going to lift it and put different suspension on it anyways. So now we're back to zero essentially.
You don't think that 2.5-inch external reservoir Old Man Emu shocks are going to be good enough?
They're not going to be long enough when I lifted 3.5 inches. So what?
What if it fits 35s with no cutting?
That means it fits 37s with cutting. So I'm going to 37s. Like, it's a no-brainer.
Right. Okay.
So I like how like Coy was talking, it sounds like you might be able to fit 37s with cutting, right? I like that idea. I really do. But
I didn't see that anywhere. Where?
Well, I mean, like it looks like it might be able to fit 35s with a lift, right? That would mean 37s could possibly fit with some cutting, right? Especially if you pull off those stupid fender flares.
I mean, through Jesus, anything is possible, but I don't see 37s being on here anytime soon. Even with a 3-inch.
4 months after these are out, SEMA's coming up. These will be at SEMA. These will be at SEMA on 37.
I said fitting on that.
These will probably be the new hotness at SEMA this year.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I'm put my money down on that one. People will be building these as fast as they can for SEMA.
They'll have builds where they'll get like a white one and put retro Toyota racing stripes on it and be like, built.
Yeah. Iron Man. Off-road Stewart. All right, let's talk about the 4Runner versus the Land Cruiser here real quick before we drag this out much longer. So the Land Cruiser comes standard with the more powerful engine, which is only available on the higher spec 4Runner models. So you can get the same engine in both of them, but you have to have the higher spec 4Runner. Both use the same. I don't know if it's the same, but both of them use an 8-speed automatic. The 4Runner comes in 2-wheel drive, part-time 4-wheel drive, or full-time 4-wheel drive, where the Land Cruiser only comes in full-time 4-wheel drive. Both tow 6,000 pounds. Both have the same 112.2 wheelbase, and they both have the same track width. According to Toyota, the Land Cruiser is 0.1 inch wider than the 4Runner. 0.1. Where they differ though in external dimensions is that the Land Cruiser is 5.3 inches taller, and one of the articles I read said that the occupant driving it felt like they could sit up higher and see better over the hood because of that. 4Runner is 1.1 inch longer. The 4Runner has slightly better clearances. The approach angle is 32 versus the Land Cruiser's 31. Departure is 24 versus the Land Cruiser's 22. And the Land Cruiser only has 8.7 inches of ground clearance versus the 4Runner's 9.2. So you're losing a half an inch there as well. Cargo space should be better in the Land Cruiser, but we don't have any details. We don't have any details on that. And then the Land Cruiser are only 5-passenger because of the hybrid battery. So you can get the third row seating in the 4Runners as long as it doesn't have the hybrid battery in it. So there's a comparisons. What do you guys think about? What's your thought on Land Cruiser versus 4Runner?
I like the look of the 4Runners a little more than the Land Cruisers, and it seems to have better specs on paper off-road.
Yeah, I agree with the specs for sure.
But I do like the idea of more head space. Being 6'4" like I am, I lean my 4Runner seat back so I can sit comfortably. So I'm long torsoed. It would suck to, hop in a rig and not have as much headspace when there's a rig that's out there that's potentially got more. I'm guessing they're costing about the same.
We don't know.
I think the highest trim level, hybrids in 4Runner will probably be close to the Land Cruiser price. So my answer is a little complicated on this. Just at face value, and everybody is hating on the new 4Runner looks. I think it looks great. I really do like the way it looks.
I think it looks like they smashed a 5th gen and a 4th gen together, kind of like the best aspects of it.
It looks like I think it looks better than the new Land Cruiser in stock form. Now, I haven't really seen any of these with bumpers and a lift and stuff, which I honestly think that the Land Cruiser is really going to come alive when you got a winch bumper on there and some tires. I think it's going to look really good. And then in that form, my opinion may change, but in stock form, I like the 4Runner better. But caveat, the 5th gen runners aren't bad looking either. I can't own one because every freaking soccer mom and like they're not an off-road vehicle in my mind. They're like a soccer mom vehicle, and then the ones that are off-road vehicles are all just like build a overlander, sliders, black wheels, a bumper, like they all just look exactly the same, and it's the same parts. And like I'm sure a bunch of our listeners have that. That's fine if you do that. I want life's too short to have the same vehicle everybody else does. So I like weird vehicles. It's part of the reason I have an FJ Cruiser probably, and that comes with a lot of probably downsides. But if the 4Runner doesn't drop a bunch of sales and all the soccer moms start buying Land Cruisers, then I'm going to have to go for a Land Cruiser if I was getting one of these. Even if I like the looks of the 4Runner better.
Something I was thinking about was all these added safety features might cause some problems with modding. So like the 5th gen 4Runner or 5th gen or the Tacomas, like the rear, the blind spot monitoring on the mirrors, that's in the rear bumper if it's got the plastic bumper. Otherwise, it wasn't compatible. So I imagine all these safety features, like you see these sensors here in the corners of this one right here. How's that going to work with an aftermarket bumper? Are they going to have like little sensor plugs all over? It's going to kind
of. They're doing that. They're doing that.
Yeah. It's not going to make less aftermarket. It's just going to make aftermarket. A rear bumper is going to be $2,800 instead of $2,000.
Yeah, it's going to take some development, but people are doing it.
Yeah, I like the taillights. They're smaller, less of a target.
See, these taillights look all right, but these taillights, I don't like it. It's that smoke Altezza look.
They look like a robot squinting at you.
Feels cheap.
Johnny 8's number very mad.
Johnny 5.
Yeah. Johnny 5. There we go.
Project Zelta is angry. So here's my question though, guys. Aaron, you just get creamed in the Nissan. I'm not putting this on you.
In the Nissan.
On you. This is a wild hypothetical. You're in the Nissan, teenager just plows into you. It's not your fault. Insurance is pretty good. You get some pain and suffering in there, and obviously your rig's totaled. Maybe you urinated because the event was so traumatic, and then we got some humiliation. Like, I don't know. But anyways, somehow for your Nissan, insurance pays you out big, man. You get $55K. You crack your patella or something. I don't know. You bruise your pituitary gland. You get 50 grand. And Ben, same for you, but it's you have full coverage, and it's clearly your fault because
it's clearly your fault. Your tire came off. You jumped the median. You hit a church van full of elderly people.
But either way, you also you get the full insurance payout. You didn't realize you've been overpaying for extra coverage in the 4Runner this whole time, and you guys got 50K. Like, is this an option? Are we going? What do you think? Is it on the table?
I'd put it on the table. But I mean, the Tacoma looks a little more interesting to me. And the same
pickup truck.
I think I'd be willing to go pickup truck, but I'd entertain the 4Runner, and I'd also entertain the Land Cruiser. It's a hard sell right now. I would definitely look at it, take it for a spin. I kind of want to see what the off-road market's going to do with it too, though.
Leroy says, bet it's going to cost more than $50K. Obviously, it's going to cost more than $50K for sure, but I just got them in the market because I figured they can afford like 15 grand on a rig. So that puts us up 65K.
We're poor, Aaron. We're poor.
That'll get them there.
It's a good down payment.
Yeah.
Good.
With 7%, 9% interest rate or whatever we're at
right now. Interest is going to kill you.
Yeah. Thanks, George Bush.
No, I'm not going to get a 2024 Frontier. That's for sure. Nissan doesn't have anything that is competitive in the market right now. I would take a good, long, hard look at this. I am sad that the Land Cruiser isn't as capable, at least according to the specs. Of course, it could be built to be as capable, but if you threw that same money at a 4Runner, would it be even more capable? I don't know. I personally like the look of the Land Cruiser. I would prefer a Land Cruiser over a 4Runner if they were exactly the same. But I don't know. The Colorado's with the Bison ZR2 package and factory 35s and stuff, or Ranger Raptor. Although I thought the Ranger Raptor was only on 33s, which feels too small. So
Bronco.
See, I think I need a pickup truck. I still like to haul a lot of gear, so I need a truck bed.
I'm getting to that point with the family. I've got a bigger family. I'd almost consider a Tundra, but I don't know how I feel about the newer Tundras.
Well, at this price, you're into lightly used Raptor territory as well. So
yeah, true.
Leroy says the new Pro 4X is free. Yeah, but it doesn't come on 35s from the factory with fancy multi-spool valve shocks and lots of horsepower and torque from a stock engine like that.
Yeah, but for like an extra $7,000, you can get those cool graphics. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
And wheels.
Yeah.
Are they black with red accents?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they're black. Seems like they're kind of a gunmetal bronze.
How about you, Coy? You had a accident at work, porta potty malfunction, explosion. It got in your mouth. You got real sick for a while, and on the way to the hospital, get you there, the FJ crashed. So, but you got to get
the first half of that story. Like I've been there. I didn't get sick. Like it's rough. I've drilled through a forced sewer line in Vancouver. It was chaos, man. Like I've had thousands of people's poo on me that day. So yeah, something happens. I get 50K. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but at this point in my life, and even now with the FJ, I'm at the point where it's like, do I keep going with the FJ or do I just go pick up 89 4Runner and put 40s on it and build it out? And then, so I'm kind of in that weird zone anyways. So for me to go buy a new vehicle to then build into an off-roader, and I'm starting at small tire again. I got to try and work my way up to 35s or 37s. And so I got to back off some of the trails that I've started to enjoy. Like, it doesn't really make sense for me personally to get it as an off-roader, especially because I'm not going to dump 30 grand into it to build. I'm going to build it over years. On the other hand, like my wife has a hybrid RAV4 right now. Over Leroy Overlanders, you should have some money left from Toby Keith, right? See, Ben has a little nose candy problem, and he was holding on to it. He doesn't look like it because of his size and weight, but he can also really put away that booger sugar. So we actually pretty well depleted that. So
you remember that movie about the bear that was like basically loosed on reality? Well, it wasn't a bear, it was a man bear.
Yeah. That's why he's been doing so well as a bus driver, is his delivery speeds. Like he's been incredible at this.
Hello, Johnny. How are you doing, little Cindy bug?
Hi, here, we're stopped. Get off the bus now. Okay, go. Let's go. Yeah, that kind of thing. So for me, yeah, I think for me more it would be my wife. Like she said, she has a RAV4 hybrid. Upgrading her into like a hybrid 4Runner. That's where I see the value in this for me, because then I don't have to be emasculated as much. And then we have storms and snow, and at my house I have a bridge and flooding, and she can't drive through it. Like it could kind of let her move around during more weather events, and then it's a more comfortable vehicle for me to drive, I'm sure.
So that actually ties into a question I wanted to close on, although I feel like we need to touch on Bryce's question afterwards. But this is, I'm going to pull up the picture real quick. These 4Runners are really aggressive looking. Obviously maybe here, I'll pull up the less aggressive one. Where are you at? Right here. Less aggressive. Are the soccer mommies going to still want to drive these with as aggressive as these still appear? Is it too aggressive for female drivers?
No. She wants her Starbucks and she wants it now.
I feel like it might be too aggressive and it's going to be a turnoff to women.
I'll need to see it in person, but I do wonder if that's what the Land Cruiser is, if they're trying to get that to be the Land Cruiser market.
Yes.
I have that feeling, but if they do that, yes, they're going to pick up a ton of Land Cruiser sales. They're going to drop an absolute load of 4Runner sales. But with the 4Runner essentially being, to me, it appears it's a Tacoma with a bed, or I mean, Tacoma with a canopy. Like it shares almost everything Tacoma. Did they not have a ton of investment in this because it's essentially just a Tacoma, and they just, kind of like the Tundra and Sequoia, it's just an extended version of what you already have, so they're prepared to lose sales on it. I'm wildly confused, honestly, with the move Toyota made with bringing a Land Cruiser and a 4Runner that are essentially the same thing and competing with each other in a market they already have cornered. Like Toyota already owns that segment, and they're competing with themselves now, which I don't understand at all.
Maybe it's to open up to a few more people, just try and get a few more sales.
I don't know. I think that they're gonna compete with each other on sales. And I told you guys when that Land Cruiser dropped that I would love for it to be my wife's next vehicle. I think it would be a great vehicle.
Let's jump with Bryce's question here real quick. Why do you think they didn't make the 4Runner roof removable?
Engineering. More problems.
I don't think you can seal. When people take stuff on and off, they just don't reseal well. And I don't think Toyota wants that on their name.
They don't want the problems that Jeeps have with the hard tops, and they're removable. And like the leaks, the JKs, when they first came out, they had leaks throughout the whole JK series. They got to the JLs, and I haven't heard of the leaks as much, but now Toyota's got to go and re-engineer the vehicle for that. And yeah, safety issues. You'd have to add a roll bar versus this whole welded chassis or welded together body.
I think it's just a numbers thing. Yes, the removable roof would appear to some, but they did just basically engineer what appears to me engineered a Tacoma into a SUV. So they're engineering costs for removable roof versus not. I don't think there's a lot there, but there's like a wind noise, and it's just when you have a removable roof like that, even on like convertible cars, they have a kind of unfinished feel inside. They're louder. And I think what they would have gained market wise with a removable roof would pale in comparison to what they lost in like creature comforts and what they would lose in the mommy missile market. So I think they would have chased away what is honestly their biggest segment, is like middle-aged females in the 4Runner market, going with removable roof. Like I don't think you can get a removable roof that works that well.
I hear so many Jeep
away
owners
from the creature comfort of it.
I hear so many Jeep owners that are like first time buyers, and then they leave and they go buy a Toyota because they want that off-road capable, but then they don't want the road noise and all that, because you gain the road comfort.
At the end of the day, while it's an off-road vehicle, their true market segment is not, it's women. It's not even men for 4Runners. Like, they have to cater to that. So,
will there be one at SEMA?
I think there will be one with the roof removed, not with a removable roof. Like, I think they make hot ones, but I don't think they're putting anything on it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next week we've got Florida Trail Teams, and it's looking to be a fun one.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting one to have them on to talk. We want to thank everybody who listens to us weekly and those who watch us live on YouTube. This live group is the greatest. We love your comments, the jabbing, the information, the extra Googling when we forget to look something up. It definitely helps out. It's fun having you guys there. We do appreciate you guys. Make sure you're sharing us with your friends and helping us grow. God bless America.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren Colby Valve and 4 Patriots to see all of their great products. We are a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a question or comment? Send it to us through our Linktree account or by searching for Off-Road Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, and be safe and courteous. Thanks for listening.
Did you guys listen to the camel episode?
No, I haven't yet. I just haven't had a chance.
I'm driving around. I know there's camels like 20 miles from me, and they're by the road, and I could shoot them if I wanted.
I had zebras by the road this weekend, so I could have gone.
I heard there were zebras in the road loose in Washington this weekend.
Yes, there was.
That's super fun.